about action potentials, we're probably thinking, how do nervous cells send signals exactly? First, when you look at a neuron, small little things sticking out around the nucleus are dendrites, the middle part's the axon. Then there's the terminal that sends an electrical signal to other neurons, to the dendrites. And your nervous cells interpret what they're sending by the frequency of it. Think of the frequency of the signal like a language, in a way. And action potentials are a rapid sequence of changes in the voltage across the membrane of a nervous cell. And these are sodium and potassium. These things are really essential to your nervous system. If you don't have them, your neurons will not work correctly and not be able to send signals. And we're going to learn that in a sec. Okay, this is a resting membrane potential. Okay, normally sits around negative 70 millivolts. And if you don't know what a millivolt is, it's 1,000th of a volt. These are sodium potassium pumps. And they're exactly what their name is. They pump sodium and potassium in and out of the cell membrane. And in order for them to work, they need something special, ATP. Think of ATP like cash in your body. And your proteins are like machines. Here, ATP, and this starts working. After the ATP releases its energy, it turns into ADP and then another phosphate group. When it pumps it, it changes its shape. As you're seeing, it changes its shape to pump the potassium and the sodium in and out of the cell. And actually, you might have noticed 3 sodium ions get pumped out and 2 potassium ions go in. Ion channels are protein molecules that span across the cell membrane, allowing the passage of the ions from one side to another. You could think of it like a door for sodium and potassium ions in a way. Voltage-gated channels, they're like the normal ion channel, but they require a certain voltage for them to work. Specifically, negative 55 millivolts is the voltage they open on. These are ligand-gated ion channels, proteins that will only open up by a hormone or something like serotonin, for example. Mechanically gated channels, they're a bit different. There are proteins that will open up only in response to physical stretching of the membrane. And this is its resting state. Everything's at negative 70 millivolts. Everything's closed. But then, let's say, for example, someone gives you a good slap and you get really annoyed. Okay, now your mechanically gated channels open and sodium ions come flooding in. And soon after, your voltage gated channels will open and then more sodium ions come inside. And then it will go up so much, it will go up to positive 40 millivolts. And this will cause it to send a signal. And this is about the frequency. A weak stimulus tends to trigger less frequent action potentials, but an intense signal frequency increases the frequency of action potentials. And that's going to be it for today. And